The village of Castellaro, seen from above, will look like a snake intent on sunbathing on the mountain ridge. The name may also make you think of a defense and shelter structure of the ancient pre-Roman Ligurian people, or of a castle that actually existed here. But beware, what appears to be a castle today is not the ancient castle, whose ruins can still be seen where the monumental complex of the parish church and oratory dominate. Visiting this village means entering into many suggestions. One of them concerns the complex we have just mentioned, where, in addition to the churches and castle ruins, you can visit the ancient medieval crypt. The complex also offers you a small, interesting museum, where, among other things, you can find a number of devotional objects. This is the parish church built after the Oratory of the Assumption in 1619. Above the altar is a marvelous Christ by Maragliano, with jointed arms. This statue was lowered on Good Friday, bent and then placed in a sarcophagus, with which it was taken around the village. This is the wooden group of St. Peter in bonds, St. Peter in chains, being freed by the angel. Weighing 8 quintals, it is carried on the shoulders through the streets of the village by porters on St. Peter's Day. Speaking of stories, let me tell you about the two local associations of the past, a confraternity that had a very bizarre use. I remember that on the feast of the Immaculate Conception we used to go to Mass. Then, in the evening, the prior would offer all the participants gorgonzola. Even more interesting, however, was the existence of a confraria, perhaps the oldest of these associations, and distinguished from the confraternities by its secular character. Our narrator recalls it in this way. For example, on Holy Thursday here, another confraternity distributed chestnuts, and icing on the top, perhaps the most important attraction of this village, the sanctuary of Our Lady of Lampedusa. Let us listen to its story from our narrator again. Lampedusa is our flagship, because for us Lampedusa is not the island in the Mediterranean, but our church. History tells us that Andrea Anfosso, known as Di Gagliardo, was captured by barbarian pirates. 40 years later, he managed to escape and returned to Castellaro, using a small sailing boat whose sail was a painting of the Virgin. He then decided to build a sanctuary on his own land in which to keep the painting. But the nobles of Castellaro wanted to build the church in a different place, and the ruins of that attempt still remain. The painting, however, always returned to Andrea's land at night. The people thought it was Andrea himself who moved the painting at night, and so they locked him up in prison. The painting, however, always returned to his chosen ground. They therefore realized that the painting really wanted to be in the place where it is still admired today.